All right, first kind of big storm of the year here. We got Halloween coming up. This should be kind of a fall market. What does that mean? What's going on? Hey everybody, Doug Reynolds here, your College-Glen neighborhood real estate specialist in Sacramento. I've been specializing in College-Glen real estate for over 15 years now. Love working with buyers and sellers in my awesome neighborhood. This is a monthly market update I do every single month talking about College-Glen real estate. And we're in October right now. And so we're going to talk about what closed in September and then kind of what's going on in the market right now for College-Glen. All right, as you can see, we only had 3 properties close escrow in September. I actually sold 2 of those 3, but not surprising because we had a pretty slow summer. June and July and August were pretty slow months when it comes to not only College-Glen, but Sacramento as well. And so these got listed in August and, closed in September. So yeah, 8501 Cliffwood Way, I represent the seller on that. That was a fixer. That was an as-is trustee estate sale, pretty much original condition, a lot of disclosure stuff going on. I represent the seller. We had all the inspections done up front so that it was full disclosure to any buyers coming in, so they were fully aware of what they were getting into. Priced it really well, priced it at $420 there. We had a couple of offers and it eventually sold. Only 7 days on the market, few offers, few investors coming in, and we got it sold for $421, closed escrow. I know they are working on a lot of remodeling at that place right now as we speak. Marquette Drive, also represented the seller on that one. That one, a little bit on the smaller side, only, 1364 square feet. The biggest thing with that, it backed to the freeway. As you know, in College-Glen, we've got the freeway going right through the middle of our neighborhood. And it's really not much of a factor unless you're actually backing and physically touching the freeway on the sound wall there. In my opinion and estimation and analysis, usually you sell for about 10 to 15% less than if you were, 3 or 4 houses in, not being directly affected by the freeway. And so because of that, because of the market that we were in, pretty slow, nice property, but we really priced it right so that buyers would be willing to overlook the location kind of issue with it. So we priced it at $449, also had multiple offers on it, only on the market for 4 days, and got it sold well above the list price for $464 there. Then on the other end of the spectrum, you had 64 Lido Circle, really large property, almost 2,000 square feet, a large pie-shaped lot, almost a third of an acre. And so they had come on at a pretty crazy price at basically $650, sat on the market for quite a while, as many listings are doing, had price reduction, reduced it down, eventually got down to that $549 price. After 60 days on the market, they eventually got it sold, and that thing closed escrow for $549. So kind of fun when I had 2 out of the 3 listings, or 2 out of the 3 properties that sold for the month were my listings. A little bit of an explanation there as to why the pricing was what they were. It was condition on the Cliffwood one and location on the Marquette one. In this market, you cannot mess around as a seller. If you've got deficiencies, big deficiencies like we had on those, you've really got to price it accordingly to get it to move, and we did that, and we had success. So right now, interestingly enough though, as September has ended and we've moved into October, usually we're starting to see kind of activity slowing down, buyer activity pulling back, and that kind of stuff. Well, thank the Lord, that is not quite the case this year. We had a very kind of dull summer, and now interest rates have come down and buyer activity has picked up a bit here. I'm not talking this is some crazy hot seller's market or anything, no. But when we had basically crickets going on during the summer, and now we actually have showings, we've got phone calls, activities going on, The market is moving a bit more now, as far as moving in the sense of there's showings happening, there's buyers out there. I'm getting phone calls, new buyers, I'm getting referred to people right now. There's more activity right now than we've had. And that's unusual for this time of year, because usually it's kind of starting to taper off, and we're actually seeing an uptick in activity right now. So that's great as far as the market goes. It's been a challenging few years with just limited amount of sales. And so moving forward, it's really interest rates that's driving that. And everyone's saying, right now, I think we're right around like 6.3, 6.4, maybe 6.25 right now, kind of in that range. If we either stay there or continue to tick down into the low sixes, we're probably going to start to continue to see that buyer activity trickle up a little bit more as we even head into the winter here, and hopefully coming out of it next year, having a potentially stronger spring than we've had in a number of years because interest rates coming down. So that's what we've got going on. Basically, if you're a seller right now, there are some other listings that are out there. They're a little bit on the high side. The ones that are right now that are pending in an escrow in the neighborhood, they priced them really well, and they showed good, and there's buyers out there. It's just all about pricing it correctly so that it moves, and it doesn't end up becoming this one that's sitting and you've really got to continue to lower the price. If you're a buyer, you got to get dialed in with your lender. You got to be ready to roll if that real nice one does come up at that great price, because there might be one or two other buyers competing with you there. But also circle back. There's a number of properties I can think of off the top of my head right now that have been on the market for 40, 50, 70, 80 days, 90 days. I think there's one that's even close to coming on to a year on the market right now. That I would imagine that seller is probably willing to be doing some negotiating in order to get that thing sold, because it's been on the market for a while. So kind of be ready. Got to be aggressive and ready to go here, but also flexible and negotiate and see what happens on the ones that have been sitting for a while. So hope that's helpful. Feel free to reach out to me, collegeglenrealestate.com, your neighborhood real estate specialist for College-Glen. Look forward to talking to you soon, and clear skies.